Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of Andrewsfootball.com, and with the 23rd selection in the third round, the 87th pick overall in the 2019 NFL Draft, who will the Chicago Bears take? Stay tuned, because I'm going to break that down. So here's the thing. If you're wondering, hey, Dan, why don't Chicago Bears have a first-round pick? Well, the first-round selection was for Khalil Mack. Now, the Raiders will get the 2019 first-round pick and the 2020 first-round pick. There's some other trade capital going involved in there, but I'm going to focus just on those two selections because the 24th pick in 2019 first-round pick would be Chicago, but instead it's the Raiders. Now, the Raiders, what they do with that 2019 pick is all up on them. But what the Raiders get, they got a player who's first-team All-Pro. They got a player who early in the season was being considered an MVP candidate, not defensive MVP candidate. And the Bears had the number one scoring defense in the NFL. So as of right now, that was an extremely smart move because there's no way possible that they're going to get somebody in the 24th selection in this year's draft that was going to be as productive as Khalil Mack. Not possible. The second round pick is Anthony Miller, a wide receiver out of Memphis, a guy I was extremely high on. He had some injury issues, only started 4 games, so had 7 touchdowns. If you're a fantasy football player, I strongly recommend in mid to late rounds, keep an eye on Anthony Miller because this is a guy who could be a number 1 wide receiver for the Chicago Bears and be a Pro Bowl type player. Is there a chance that the Bears could have got a better player in the second round? It's highly unlikely because I think Anthony Miller is a guy who's going to be a superstar. Well, he's going to be the Bears' number 1 receiver this year. At least that's my honest opinion. The guy's got all talent in the world. I loved him out of Memphis. I actually thought he could go first round. He ended up going second round. The Bears actually traded up to get him, so that's why they don't have a second round pick this year. So I really, really love what the Bears are doing right now because I mentioned they had number 1 scoring defense. Well, they have the 9th ranked scoring offense. But listen to this. Look at this defense. You have 3 first-team All-Pro players. You have Khalil Mack, Eddie Jackson, Kyle Fuller, and all 3 of these guys are in the prime of their careers, ascending players. You also have Pro Bowler Akeem Hicks and rookie Raquan Smith, who had 121 tackles and 5 sacks and 14 starts. Raquan Smith's a guy who's going to be an absolute stud. So this defense is loaded with talent, young talent. So if you're a member of the NFC North, watch out because this Bears defense is young, talented, and could possibly, I don't know if you can be better or not. Yes, I'm fully aware Vic Fangio is now the head coach in Denver, but this is a team loaded with defensive talent. But unlike my Chiefs, who are heavy on the offense, just trying to be average on defense, this team with the number 9th ranked scoring offense. You have 2 Pro Bowl offensive linemen. Tariq Cohen, a player who I absolutely love. Plus, you have Pro Bowl quarterback in Mitchell Trubisky, a guy who the Bears for the longest time couldn't find a quarterback. Chiefs fans can relate. We're in the same situation. The Bears made a blockbuster move to trade up to get Mitchell Trubisky. They're blasted for it, but looks to be the right decision because this guy looks like he's going to be a star and Pro Bowler after second year. What else could you ask for? This is an ascending player with a good young line. And Tariq Cohen looks like he's going to be an absolute stud. I think his numbers are pretty good this year. I think they're going to be better next year because with the Jordan Howard trade, now I'm going to break down Jordan Howard trade. If you're not aware of this, Matt Nagy was the quarterback coach in Kansas City while Doug Peterson was the offensive coordinator. Doug Peterson went to Philly as the head coach, Matt Nagy. So these guys have a good relationship with each other, and they went ahead and made the Jordan Howard trade. But as much as Tariq Cohen is a stud, one of my favorite players, he's 180 pounds. So he's listed, Pro Football Reference has him listed at 181. So it leads me to believe that the Bears in the third round of the NFL draft are going to be looking at running back. The question is, who? And with the 23rd pick in the third round, the 87th pick overall, I have the Bears selecting Benny Snell, running back out of Kentucky. And this is one of my favorite players in the draft. And if you look at a lot of mock drafts, and I've done a lot of mock draft simulations, Benny Snell just free falls down the draft board. So people that are doing a lot of mock drafts are going to say third round. And here's the thing: if you look at if you look at his draft combine, you're not seeing really good stats, But here's the thing: put on the tape. The guy had 48 touchdowns in 3 years in SEC competition, but a lot of you are saying, well, Kentucky has some good talent. Look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen and Max Snell Benny Snell are possibly the two only players from Kentucky that are going to be drafted in this draft. This isn't like, Benny Snell's not running behind the Alabama offensive line or the Georgia offensive line. He's going against SEC competition and putting up fantastic numbers, but he doesn't have the standard SEC line. He doesn't have SEC wide receivers on the outside. It's basically him carrying the load. And I know if you look at the combine numbers, you're going to be like, but put on the tape. Here's another thing I like about him. He's about 5'10", 225. This guy is a guy who can handle a 25, 30 carry workload, where Tariq Cohen's a guy that you really only want him to touch the ball about 10 to 15 times a game. Benny Snell's a guy you can have touch the ball 20, 25 times a game. I like his receiving ability a little more than most. So when you put on the draft simulator, I ignore that because the Bears need a guy who can be a bell cow back. Yes, I'm aware they got Mike Davis, but with his injury issues over the years, are you really going to depend on that? Or you can turn on the tape and watch a guy who's been productive in SEC competition. This is a guy who can come in and would actually be your day one starter, even though Tariq Cohen's the guy that's going to give you the big plays. But 3rd and 1, is there another running back in the draft you can say, hey, look, 3rd and 1, let's give it to this guy, he's going to get it? I don't see it. So this is a guy in this division for this team I think is a perfect fit for the perfect team. Are they going to overdraft for this kid? Yes. I think that some team's going to draft this kid in the 3rd or 4th round and be very, very happy. I know draft experts are going to say, oh, you're going to have this kid later on. But here's the thing. This guy is a day one starter, and he's going to be very productive for you. So that's something that I absolutely love. So listen, if you are a subscriber to Andrews Football, thank you very much for watching this video. You already know you're one of the greatest people on planet Earth. All your wildest dreams are going to come true. But hey, listen, if you're new to my channel, you're a Chicago Bears fan, you're a Benny Snell fan, you're a fan of NFL mock drafts or the NFL draft, or you're a fan of really awesome hats, I got a great idea for you. There's this little button right down here. Check this out. Look. Bam! Hit that button. Become one of the greatest people on planet Earth. Wait till tomorrow where I break down America's team. Well, not really, but the Dallas Cowboys. So I'll see you tomorrow.